Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, back up once again by Jimmy and Austin.
Are you sure it's not Adam?
Yeah, it's not. I am Austin.
Adam couldn't join us today, and today's matchup is Adam versus Austin. Adam brought back Raditz, which is his green-black take, and Austin hasn't been here in 2 months, so he just brought Cooler out again. But he has draft pack cards, which makes this deck stupidly good.
Yeah.
There's buttons, there's links. Get into the almost said profile. Let's get into the match.
Man, you fucking up all the time now, dude.
It happened.
I thought we was professional around here.
Come on.
I mean, now. I know I just came back. You don't have to be nervous, Bancroft.
Oh, I'm not gonna do the woo-woo. All right, so it's been some time. Well, we saw a Cooler on the channel about 2 weeks ago. Your build is slightly different than Jake's. You do like to start with the Demigra, and you do tech in the Weast as well, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I did have the Vados and everything, but I took the Vados out for the Coolers, the dual attack ones from the dash pack, and it's just too good not having the deck. You know, it does more, in my opinion, value than Vados could.
Oh yeah. And for those who aren't familiar with Raditz, it likes to go, hey, warp cards. Instead of discarding, you warp them, which kind of gets past. I think the only like tech true for hand control is Deborah, and that gets past Deborah. The problem is that you have to swing for it. You don't get draws on the Raditz. You have to rely on this. I think it's either EX or a promo card. That one right there, be exact. But you're teching in with the green engine, black engine. Adam likes to use the SS4 Gohans I think it's Gohan as a negate to make your opponent only attack one more time, which is kind of better than Dormant, but it does cost 2 energy to do. Now, I have seen Adam's list before. If you let it kind of like just go, it can be very hand control. But Cooler has a way of like just drawing cards very quickly because you have on the leader when a unison goes from your unison area to the drop, you draw a card, and if you awaken, like in the same turn, you're getting 2 draws off that alone.
Yeah, and you also on the unawakened side, you can swing, take life, and draw a card. So you can just instead of playing a unison, which against hand control, I want to get more cards in my hand.
Well, the whole thing of getting around that, the unison has to be placed from the unison area to get the draw. So going from the hand, so it's not like a straight hand control counter. But since you cycle unisons so often, you will get a lot of draws. The one of the frustrating things about playing against a like full power hand control deck is that green has really, really good field removal. So usually the strategy to play against hand control is to commit to the field, but against green, you really don't get to do that. Because you commit to the field, they're not only going to hit your hand now that you put all your battle cards on the field, they're also going to wipe your field. Where green is now getting more unison removal, but right now, outside of just the Gohan rare, there's not a lot of green unison removal that is prevalent in the early game. So Cooler kind of just gets to play for free for the first couple of turns outside of just the regular hand control. Also, Catapezla engine is very interesting in this list.
Yeah, so I've played against this list before in the past. I think on camera before, actually. And it's one thing is like, he just sneaks right past you without even realizing that's what he's running. It does suck that he had to charge a multicolor card twice in a row. I was able to see his hand. He had a couple of good extra cards. He had a couple of the promo cards. He had another green-black card. So it was very hard to choose what to charge in that situation, and because going against a unison deck, it's a high chance that counterplays their thing, and he just lost that potential start to his engine.
Yep, I knew the Catapesla engine just from playing the game for so long, and I just I don't want to deal with that. I just don't want to deal with it right now.
Especially if he gets off the. I don't know if that was the one he played because that was the Searcher one. But the one from Evolution Booster, I think it was, or Evolution Battle, or
Battle Evo.
Battle Evo, thank you, had the Catapulta that can activate main, and then pretty much you just free evolve.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
couldn't
reduces the
remember.
cost of your future evolves.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was on that new card or if it was that you could free evolve off the first one that was just it was just an EX evolve for free. So I just didn't want to take the chance of him getting that free evolution. So I just thought I'd just go ahead and get rid of that one piece.
Mhm. And essentially, counterplaying that set him back an entire turn. Where usually when you're charging for energy exhaust, you're kind of already setting yourself back a turn. Especially doing 2 energy exhaust in a row and losing your only play. So you basically just turned off his turn 1 play on turn 2.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but
playing, you want to play this Unison in the Raditz deck. It helps out a lot the engine itself. It doesn't get hit with the new Silver Bullet for Unisons because it's a 3 cost, but it just helps you get cards in your opponent's warp, which is what the leader wants to do to get the, I think, crit on its backside, or the Waken side.
mhm.
But going against a deck like Cooler can be very tricky if you don't know how to pilot correctly, because he's already now has 1 open energy. Now he does have a Unison, which will allow him to still do Dormant. Because I don't think Dormant specifies. I know it's been out forever. I don't think it specifies mono green. I think it just says it's all green energy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's you need a mono green leader to use Dormant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
but I saw some interesting tech in his hand, but he's not here to talk about it. So what are you thinking about right now, Austin?
honestly, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about next turn now what I want to play if I want to go ahead and do this so I can get an extra card. I always think I want to negate the attack, and I just figured, nah, I'm thinking too much. I'm just gonna go ahead and take he's hitting the Unisons. He's not hitting my leader, and I have no problem awakening next turn because I can just swing with my leader, and I'm just trying to keep my Unison on the board, which I don't think will be an issue. I don't know what he's doing. I thought maybe he might do an overwhelm attack next, but he didn't have any overwhelms, and plays Catapesla again. And honestly, at this point, I just think I'm golden because if he has Dormant, I have Golden Frieza in my hand. So I'm going to get a triple strike off 2 times. So he has to stop the first one if he uses Dormant. Then I can just combo up and get it high enough. So honestly, at this point, I feel like I'm sitting pretty. Like I don't have it. I'm not worried about anything. And unless something crazy happened, I think I had the game in the bag at this point.
Yeah, looking back at this, seeing him tap that 3rd energy, I didn't know what to expect because you haven't awakened yet. You obviously charged a Golden Frieza on turn 1, and to me, someone who's played against the Cooler deck knows that, okay, there's a good chance you have another one somewhere in your hand, or you were just very confident early on. And then when I saw him activate Homicidal Clones before you even expend any of your energy, at this point, I felt like Adam was definitely in trouble because now you can just establish the Golden Frieza. If you have it, wipes his board, he loses the blocker token. And also, one of your things you like to do is always just overwhelm into the
Bardock crit you can't block.
Yeah. So like you always have tech for that, but yeah, just establishing the Golden Frieza now, it comes into play with 4 markers, which then it blows the field up, and now you can awaken, resend your energy. There is a bit of a hiccup here, and I just want to point out before we get too far into it. The timing in your draw was a little off, but it is locals. We're fine with people, getting what they need to get for maximizing everyone's fun.
Yeah, and we talked about that too in the thing. I was like, oh, that's right, so go ahead. So we just talked about that in the match. Of course, you can't hear it, but yeah, this I ran the Bardock just because I got the blocker negates who are so popular, and I run 1 Champa. So if I saw a Champa, then I had the Bardock, which I see weirdly often, like for 2 1-ofs. But it's nice to get around that. They have 2 life left. They try to blocker negate to save, and they're 3. But So you see here, I just go for it. Just a combo fully out. I don't know what's in his hand.
I mean, playing against Raditz that's tapped out, and knowing this leader doesn't really draw a lot in the early games, and you have to work hard just to get draws. Like, he techs in the Saiyan Instincts just to get extra draws when he needs them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to push when you get that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's one of our shorter videos when it comes to matchups. Hope you all enjoy. Keep in mind, there's buttons or something down in the description. Bye.